Welcome to episode 12 of AI Solutions, the Pathway to Profit. Today, our topic is Generative AI for Marketing, beyond ChatGPT cliches. Let's be honest, if you're only using these tools to write generic social media captions, you're missing the entire point. What I see too often is people treating a revolutionary technology like a slightly faster intern, and it's a colossal waste of potential. Today, we're walking a different path. We're going to explore how to elevate AI from a simple task doer to a genuine strategic partner. We'll uncover how you can use it to actually predict market trends before they happen, and how to generate truly hyper-personalized ad creative for thousands of microsegments, not just dropping a first name into an email. This is about transforming your marketing from the ground up. So, let's address the elephant in the room, the cliches. I'm talking about asking the AI for 5 social media captions, a generic email draft, or a basic blog post outline. And look, there's a place for that. It can save a few minutes. But what I see happening is that this approach often results in content that feels hollow, like it's missing your brand's unique soul. It's just task automation, not a real strategic transformation. The mindset shift I want to walk you through today is a powerful one. You might find it helps to stop thinking of AI as a writing intern you delegate busy work to. Instead, let's start treating it as a strategic marketing co-pilot, sitting right there beside you, ready to analyze the entire competitive landscape. All right, so let's take a deep dive into what I call true hyper-personalization at scale. This is so much more than the old trick of inserting a customer's first name into an email. Honestly, that's table stakes now. What I really find effective is when you start thinking of Gen AI as a dynamic content engine. What I do is connect it to the living data sources, your CRM, your web analytics. The AI can then analyze a customer's entire purchase history, their real-time browsing behavior, even the sentiment of their last support chat. Now, imagine this. For a single product, the AI generates 1,000 different descriptions, each one tailored. For a user who previously bought entry-level products, it highlights ease of use. For a power user, it emphasizes advanced features. You might find that this works incredibly well for ad copy, where the AI can generate unique creative for countless micro audiences, ensuring the message is always hitting home. This isn't just personalization. It's creating a unique marketing reality for every single customer segment. Now, let's shift our focus from our own data to the outside world. This is where you can get a serious edge. What I do is create a custom dataset of a competitor's entire marketing output, their ads, their emails, their social posts, their white papers, all of it. What I like to see is Gen AI being used less like a writer and more like a scout. You can have it constantly scan the horizon, analyzing competitor content strategies, dissecting social media conversations for emerging sentiment, and tracking search trends in real time. It can process all this noise and deliver a clear signal, forecasting breakout topics before they peak. You might find that it not only tells you what to create, but even the optimal format for maximum impact. This shifts your team from just making content to making the right content at the perfect time, over and over again. Okay, let's move into one of my favorite areas, predictive trend spotting. For years, we've all been obsessed with keyword tracking, right? Watching search volumes go up and down. But what I find is that this is like looking at a market trend through a keyhole. You see a piece of it, but you miss the whole picture. What I do now is use large language models as a kind of cultural sonar. I point them at vast, messy datasets. Social media conversations, niche forums, news articles, product reviews. The goal isn't just to count keywords. It's to understand context, sentiment, and the connections between ideas. You can ask it to identify the emerging vibe of a community, or the new aesthetic that's bubbling up before it even has a name. This gives you that crucial first mover advantage, letting your brand be part of the conversation, not just reacting to it weeks later. This brings us to one of the most exciting frontiers, using AI not just to analyze, but to create truly novel ideas from scratch. What I do here is a technique you could call conceptual blending. It's about taking two completely unrelated concepts and asking the AI to fuse them. For instance, you might prompt it to develop a campaign for a new electric car, but in the visual and narrative style of a classic Italian neorealist film. The results can be wonderfully strange and often unlock a creative direction you never would have found otherwise. And this extends directly to visuals. What I find incredibly powerful is using image generation models for rapid A/B testing. Before, we'd have to guess which visual concept would work. Now, you can generate a dozen different visual treatments for an ad, test them with a small audience, and know which one drives engagement before you ever book a studio or hire a photographer. It's about making creativity more agile. Now, here's a technique that might feel a bit like science fiction, but what I find is that it's incredibly practical. We all build customer personas, but they're often static documents based on what people have already done. What I do is use Gen AI to build synthetic personas that are alive and interactive. I'll feed the AI all the data for a key segment, but then I instruct it to embody that persona fully. Give it a name, a backstory, goals, and frustrations. The real power comes next. Instead of guessing, you can literally interview this persona. I'll drop in a new email subject line and ask, as tech-savvy Sarah, what's your gut reaction to this? Does it feel exciting or just more noise? You get instant, nuanced, qualitative feedback, allowing you to test angles and refine your copy before it ever goes live. It's like having a 24/7 focus group right on your desktop. Okay, let's pivot to SEO and your content strategy, because the old playbook is officially outdated. For years, the game was just about compiling keyword lists, right? But what I see working now is a much deeper approach. What I do is have Gen AI analyze the entire search engine results page for a given query. I mean everything. The top articles, the people also ask box, the video carousels. Its job is to figure out the user's real intent. Do they want a step-by-step guide, a quick video, or a detailed comparison table? The AI is brilliant at identifying these format preferences, and more importantly, the semantic gaps, those unanswered questions that the current top pages are missing. From this analysis, it generates a comprehensive content brief that isn't just keyword stuffed. It's precisely engineered to satisfy user intent and rank. Now, let's talk about a challenge that gets bigger the more you grow: keeping your brand voice consistent. What I find is that as teams expand, that unique voice gets diluted. So what I do is build a brand voice guardian. The process is really powerful. I start by gathering a company's absolute top performing content, the emails with the highest open rates, the blog posts that truly connected, the social copy that drove real engagement. This becomes our gold standard dataset. We then use this to fine-tune a custom Gen AI model. You're essentially teaching the AI the unique DNA of your brand style. The result is a powerful tool. Any team member, from marketing to sales, can submit new copy, and this guardian reviews it instantly. It doesn't just flag errors. It suggests precise edits to bring the text into perfect alignment. You might find this completely transforms your content workflow, ensuring everything you publish sounds unmistakably like you. Now, as we're harnessing all this capability, it's crucial we walk through the ethical minefield together. With great power comes great responsibility, and this is where I see people stumble. The training data for these models is vast, and it often reflects existing societal biases, which can unintentionally surface in your marketing. Then there's the risk of generating misinformation or navigating the very murky waters of copyright. What I do, and what I believe is non-negotiable, is to establish a human in the loop for everything. I treat every piece of AI-generated content as a first draft that requires expert human review and sign-off. You might find this isn't about slowing down. It's about ensuring quality and maintaining your brand's authenticity. It's the final gut check that makes sure your message is not just effective, but also responsible. So, where is all of this heading? What I find most exciting is what's just over the horizon, and it really comes down to two key ideas. The first is what we call multimodal AI. What I'm seeing now are systems that move beyond just text or just images. You might find that soon you'll be able to give an AI a single strategic prompt, like launch our new product with a vintage sci-fi aesthetic, and it generates everything. The video script, the visuals for the ad, the email copy, and even the background audio, all perfectly cohesive from that one core idea. And then, taking it even further, is the concept of agentic AI. What I like to think of here are autonomous systems. Instead of you executing the campaign, you'd assign it to an AI agent with a budget and a goal. It would then manage the entire process, running A/B tests, optimizing ad spend, and adjusting tactics in real time with minimal human intervention. It's a future where we become the true architects of the strategy. So, as we bring this all together, what I want you to really take away is that the true power of generative AI in marketing isn't about replacing writers. You might find the entire game changes when you start using it to augment your strategists. What I consistently see delivering breakthrough results are those core pillars we walked through: deep, authentic personalization, the predictive power to see what's coming next, and strong strategic governance to keep your brand's voice perfectly on point. I hope this has left you feeling inspired and armed with a new perspective. The logical next question is, this is great, but how do I get started? That's exactly what we'll cover next time in episode 13, the consultant symbiosis, maximizing value from external AI expertise. We'll see you then. If you find this information useful, we would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe this channel to help others find us. If there are subjects you would like covered, please add in the comments section and we will include it in future episodes. Thanks for watching.